you brought up the late thing twice. This new fine system that's in place. I'm going to bring my guys on from Esquire, Clay Barnett, and Chad Brown. We're going to talk about this. It's a hot topic, right? Because whatever CU posts is hot topic. By the way, everybody in the chat that thinks we just started doing the show when CU hired Prime. Brian, how long you been doing the podcast with me?
Long time. I don't remember who the coach was.
Almost 15 years, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if maybe was it Embry?
Embry was the first time I ever interviewed a coach was Embry, and that's the first time I ever had you on is when Embry started.
Yeah, so it's been a while. We did it several times during McIntyre's time, and
so I've been it's been all CU since I can remember, like being able to remember. It's been all black and gold for the big guys. So just keep that in mind. I will say this though, when you're looking at the situation of fines, okay, he missed the game last year. Now you don't have to suspend him for the game. You can just fine him $2,500 or $5,000, right?
Yeah.
I guess it's an individual thing. Which one do you think is more motivating? Like I got suspended for a bowl game once. I got suspended for the Fiesta Bowl for partying my ass off. I didn't get fined though. I just got suspended and went back to school. Yeah. So where do you sit with that one?
Well, it's hard to put my head in their heads, but I'll say this. A lot of the narrative around college football is these guys are chasing the money, right? They're going after the checks and things like that. And we heard the narrative last year that some of these guys, maybe they collected their check and kind of coasted throughout last season. So that tells me money's a motivator, and so maybe that's the biggest motivator is they see that like, oh crap, I can't be late to today's meeting. I don't have $2,500. I don't want to lose $2,500 today. I don't want to lose $500.
How about Mark Ingram coming out and saying the fact that you even have to find people is an indicator that there's problems? And I look at that and go, well, every NFL team has fine systems. What does that mean?
Well, I agree with that. Although to me, it's an indicator that there was problems last year, and let's nip it in the bud right now.
So why does the new group of kids this year get the fine structure that the last year's kids should have deserved? Because again, last year's kids put this fine structure in place, and none of them are still here. And all the new guys who are captains and leaders and shit, if he walks in 30 seconds late, he gets fined $2,500 or whatever because dickhead last year was late all the time, and now he just happens to be 30 seconds late and he's screwed. Instead of, hey, you're 30 seconds late, you're gonna have to run a little bit after practice. Don't do that shit again. It's $2,500, and then where do you sit on that?
Well, I think a lot of it is Coach Prime and the staff learning from last year and saying, you know what, we got to be tougher as coaches, and let's get on these guys. Let's set a tone right now. I don't think it's necessarily punishing the current guys yet. I think it's just really setting the tone and saying, here's how it's going to be in this program, and maybe not directly saying it like this, but basically to me, it's them saying we learned from last year that we let too much go, and we're not going to let that happen this year.
Bailey.
Let me ask you about the fine system real quick, because I hear your point on that, but explain it. So the money goes back into the athletic department, correct?
Yeah, it does. I'm not sure exactly how it'll be used, but my understanding is it goes back into the department.
Okay, so I mean, from that perspective, there's several you're
using your own players to fund the athletic department.
Well, I guess in theory that's what they've been doing for 100 years, right?
And that's exactly my point. What?
Yeah. That's what happens in the NFL. Where do those fines go? They go to the league.
I don't know where the NFL fines go. I know where the team fines go. I know that the fines in the meeting room are different than the fines that the NFL divvies out. I don't know where do they go?
Yeah.
John Runyon's pocket?
Yeah, I'm not sure. They could be. I don't know. My guess is that a big part of why they're doing this is because they don't want to have any fines. They would like to set this tone now and saying, you know what, we hope we don't earn a dime off you guys.
Well, shit, yeah, you don't want to fine if you're fining your team at that rate, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and my guess too is there could be some situations where that's the system, And there's also an appeal process. They that was on there too. There's an appeal process. Maybe some kid's late, and he comes back and appeals it and doesn't have the fine. But to me, I like it because you set the tone. And I think that last year's team lacked really much of that leadership and much of that structure that I think this year's team is going to have.
Okay. Last question for me, and then I'll let Bailey wrap this up. Brian Howell, the Colorado beat writer. As far as I'm concerned, nobody else is involved. BH, let me ask this question. Okay. I've been saying this now for a while, but I feel like there's a little bit of a civil war in the CU fan base. Why is it that so many Prime supporters are so worried about the perception of Prime rather than the production of his football team, rather than the production of the football team helping the perception of Prime?
It's a deep question. That's a good question. I don't know.
Colorado educated, bitch.
That's NIWAD education right there, right?
That's right, baby. The fucking chief.
That's a good question. I think I don't know the answer to that, but it's been a very interesting dynamic watching this whole process since he got here, and the amount of fans that came to Colorado because he was here, which I love. I think it's great. I've actually met a lot of Prime fans on the road. I remember going to Central Florida a couple years ago. It was pouring rain, and I'm kind of walking through the bowels of the stadium beforehand to kind of where's the locker room and all that. And these fans see me, they recognize me from the YouTube channel, all that stuff, and they stop. They want a picture with me. They're excited. There's a lot of there's a lot of fans that now know Colorado that didn't before, and that's a good thing.
But they're not all the Prime supporters are Prime sexuals. It's like
you're right.
It's like there's a lot of religious people, and then there's like evangelical crazies.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think you're just always going to have that. And I think that when you have Coach Prime's a celebrity. He's a football coach, but he's a celebrity. It's just what it is. And you're going to have people that love a celebrity and hate a celebrity, and that's every big time celebrity, right? You can pick out your favorite band, your favorite actor, whatever. They can be the greatest actor or band ever. There's people that hate him with a passion. He is
a fucking rock star. There's no doubt about that.
It's true.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think you're just always going to have those people that
defend in the rock band.
What's that?
Coach Prime would be the lead singer in the rock band, right? He would play lead guitar and be the lead singer.
Oh yeah, I don't know if he can play guitar, but we know he can rap. We've seen him rap.
That's true. That's true. He is. Isn't he like a platinum selling rap artist or something?
Yeah, it must be the money, right?
Must be. Hey.